Hi everyone, this is Michael with the general reading for Aquarius Sun, Moon, and Rising for June 2019. I do hope that this video finds you all well. I kind of just want to dive right into this reading, but before we begin, I just want to let you all know that I have links in the description box for personal readings, distance Reiki sessions, blog posts. Those blogs also include the astrological information for this video that I'm going to be referencing. It's much more extensive in the blog, so if that's something you're interested in, I would definitely give that a peek. There's also donation information and lots of other good stuff. There's also something to draw your chart if you're not familiar with the rest of your placements. I do always tell people that their sun sign video doesn't resonate, it might be a good idea to look at your moon or rising, or you might get a fuller picture doing that too. So good stuff. I am also going to be offering giveaways on this channel. Once we hit 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to initiate or launch the first giveaway, and the winner will have their choice between a personal reading and a distance Reiki session. So that's very exciting. If you haven't already, definitely hit subscribe and follow me on my other social media as well, on my Instagram and Facebook, where I'm posting pick a card spreads and random collective card readings as well. I think it's a good way to make sure that you're not going to miss out on that giveaway. Yeah, I think that's kind of the gist of everything. I am actually in the process of moving, so I'm sorry for those of you who are trying to get a reading ASAP. I might not be able to do that for the first week of June, just kind of throwing that out there. But yeah, I actually feel like you're going through a lot of changes yourself right now, to be honest. I was tuning into your general collective here. We do have the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, and that came out with the Two of Pentacles upright. So these two cards, I do get the sense, let me make sure you can see these. I feel like you're really reassessing what you're putting some effort into. This could be work, it could be relationship, but there's just this overall theme of reassessment right now that is going on for Aquarius. And I feel like you're really weighing things out. You're really trying to figure out what should take priority, what you should really be putting your energy towards, trying to find a balance here. This is also kind of a key word, balance and reassessment. And it seems like, I don't know, it seems really, it feels like there was some sort of disappointment that's making you reassess all of this, that's making you reassess something. There was a disappointment that preceded this. And I want to say right now, spoilers, I'm not going to be able to tell you what's important to you. Only you're going to be able to really figure out what you should actually do here. I'm not going to be able to give that answer to you, especially not in a general reading. I can certainly give you some insight, but I feel like you're doing some real soul searching. You're really looking inward right now, and you're really trying to look at things objectively. And that's kind of the overall energy I'm getting for you, perhaps leading into June or throughout June. It's kind of this theme of reassessment, this theme of striking a balance. And I think, I wonder if that does have something to do with this new moon that is coming on June 3rd. It's going to be in fellow air sign Gemini, so there is a trine there for some of you. But I do feel like with Venus and Pluto sextiling each other in the same day, there's really going to be a shakeup, especially in relationships, and that's going to bring out a lot of emotional changes. I think you're definitely feeling it kind of in the background with these waves here. This isn't just like a day-to-day practical decision making. There's emotions here. There are some strong currents, and you are feeling it, but you're still maintaining this balance. You're still trying to keep things leveled, even though things aren't going quite the way you had hoped, or even if there's some sort of loss, you're still striking this balance, which is interesting. I do feel like This is going to be an interesting month for you, Aquarius. We do also have the Sagittarian full moon coming around the 17th. That's going to really be a good time to get yourself unstuck if you're feeling stuck or trapped in some sort of circumstance. Sagittarius is all about freedom, it's all about freeing oneself, and that's either through knowledge or travel. And I feel like whatever it is that's blocking that feeling for you, a full moon is a really good time to release things. So release what makes you feel stuck. That's going to be kind of important for everyone, but for some reason I'm feeling like that's important for you, this collective Aquarius. I'm not sure why. I do also know, what else do we have? We have Neptune going retrograde on June 21st. That's going to be in its native sign, Pisces. So there's going to be kind of a lifting of a veil. I feel like dreams are actually going to take on a much more vivid quality. When Neptune is going direct, its influence is very subtle. It can be very sneaky. And with it going retrograde, there can kind of be a big reveal. It can kind of be a rude awakening, to be honest. I don't want to make you worry too much about it. But it can kind of pull back that sort of illusion and make you see something that you didn't see before, see things the way they really are. And maybe that's actually part of this this disappointment I feel like a lot of you are feeling. We do also have, kind of towards the end of the month, Mercury is actually entering your opposite sign, Leo. So there is going to be a lot of emphasis on communication, especially in your close relationships. So that might be something that causes conflict for some of you. That just throwing that out there. Again, I'm not super worried so much about that. It does just feel like really you're trying to figure out what it is you actually want. And that's going to kind of be a big theme for you, I am feeling. So I'm curious to actually start the read here to see what cards are coming out for you. And I absolutely invite you all to kind of tune in your energy to channel whatever advice your collective needs to hear. You can do that now, even though this video will have already been recorded. This energy is timeless, and it will come to me right now. I'm being told to shuffle 4 times. Sometimes I wait for the cards to fall out, other times it's kind of just shuffling the deck. I kind of just feel out what I should be doing for that. So let's see. And one more. Okay. Yeah, so that's interesting. I am noticing right now at the bottom of the deck, this Two of Swords. Again, there is this feeling of you delaying a decision, kind of weighing things out. And delay, you know, that kind of seems appropriate with what you're doing. It does feel like you're stalling a little bit, or you're really trying to figure out what it is you're supposed to do next, and you're kind of guarding your heart. Even though there's these strong emotions, it's still, you're just trying to be rational and level. I feel like that's kind of coming as a confirmation. So let's see. This is interesting because it actually looks like coming into June, things were looking pretty good. We do have this Ten of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, and this Queen of Cups here. Interesting. So it does seem like with this Ten of Pentacles, you really were in a really nice place, physically, like day-to-day, your day-to-day life, your job, your work environment. Things were going really, really well. Or this could even be referencing something further back in May. I'm actually getting that sense for some of you. This is just referencing a time where you felt very stable, like you had it all. And I think you're thinking a lot about that coming into June. You're reconnecting with what this feels like, however this manifests for you, whatever your version of this Ten of Pentacles is. This is kind of being surrounded by family, being able to provide, having a legacy. That's a really important thing with this card too, that doesn't get mentioned a lot. Legacy. We do have this intergenerational family living together, and it's a nice feeling. It's like this feeling of home. Like you finally built this home. And we do have the Eight of Wands kind of in the heart here. This is telling me that there was something you were really driving towards, you were really going towards, gung-ho. And it seems like you felt really good about this, actually. This move you were making, or this step you were taking, or this conversation you were about to have. Things felt really, really good. And it might have been with a water sign, with this Queen of Cups, so that could be someone who's heavily placed in Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces, or someone who's just very sensitive in general, very attuned to their environment, very much a nurturer, very emotionally supportive, also very, very psychic. This person is very, very intuitive. This could be you as well, but I feel like for a lot of you, this was actually someone you were in communication with. And it feels like things were going really well. This person either was family or they felt like family to you, and it seemed like things were going in a really positive direction. So I'm interested if what you are reassessing or reevaluating is something totally separate. I almost wonder if it's kind of work related or in another relationship. What is it that you're reassessing? I wonder. What is the animal wisdom here for this situation? Coming into June. What is the animal wisdom for Aquarius coming into June? That's too many. Let's try again. What is the animal wisdom for Aquarius coming into June? Okay. So again, a lot of them fell out, but this card actually fell out on top twice, which is the B card. This does tell me that you have been very hard at work on something, perhaps something you really are passionate about. It gives you a lot of energy with this Eight of Wands. Maybe that's where this emotional fulfillment is coming from, this Queen of Cups. You're really working quite diligently. And there is kind of this sense of cooperation. I have to be honest. You're working with other people on something, and it feels really good. I get this sense that some of you do, however, need to, I guess, indulge a little more. When I think of bee, I think of their honey. I think of the sweetness that they create. It's important that you take some of that. You know, you definitely have something here that you can indulge in with this Ten of Pentacles. You've certainly created a lovely life for yourself in May or perhaps earlier than that. And there is still some sweetness to be drawn here. So it is important that you are kind of engaging in the self-care, because you might end up stinging someone. You might end up exhausting yourself to such a degree where you're actually hurting the people who are close to you. So that is something to kind of be mindful of. I do also wonder if there is this some sort of healing that you're going to be doing. You know, honey is very medicinal, and bee is all about transmutation, alchemy. I feel like there's some sort of thing you are trying to transmute or change or heal. And maybe that's what this Ten of Pentacles is really about. It's not so much the physical. This isn't a card that really represents the physical having it all. It's a feeling, actually, because we do have this connection here. We do have these relationships. It's like, however this actually manifests, you could be happy in any circumstance, in any situation. And I think a lot of you are really trying to figure out how to be happy and make the most of what's around you, because you do recognize at this time there is kind of this gold mine here, even if it's not this opulent lifestyle that often gets talked about with this Ten of Pentacles. It might not be very lavish, but there's beauty here. There's beauty in your day-to-day life. There's beauty in your surroundings, and you can extract the nectar from this, the pollen. There is something here. So let's see. This is now looking at the beginning of June, the first half of June. Interesting. So we have the Justice card, Five of Wands in reverse, and the Strength card. You know, I'm really getting the sense that whatever it is you're reevaluating, I think you're going to actually, you are going to go back to it. You are going to come back, you know, return home, perhaps. Go back with what's familiar, but I think you're really changing the way you look at it. I do see that some of you are going to be making a head over heart decision. You're not going to let your emotions get the best of you, which is something we were talking about in the pre-read. I feel like if some of you are in some sort of legal situation or some sort of administrative conflict, you're having some sort of blockage from some higher administration, it is going to work out in your favor. You know, the justice will be served is kind of what's going to be happening in the first part of June. So whatever it is you're dealing with, it actually looks like things are really clearing up for you, though. I have to say, with this Five of Wands in the reverse, this does feel like, this is kind of why it felt like you're going back to something, and you're seeing that people were acting kind of petty, perhaps a bit childish, and you may have even done the same thing, to be totally honest. You might have acted childish. You might have succumbed to this. And I think you're returning, you're kind of coming back as the adult here. You're bringing justice to the situation. That's kind of how you're presenting to the people around you. You're very just. And you're actually feeling pretty good, really strong with the Strength card here. There could be, there could also be a Libra with the Justice card, or a Leo that you are working closely with or communicating a lot with. There might be some sort of interest there for some of you. But overall, I'm feeling like with the Strength card, you're really, it's not about not feeling. It's not about being cut off to your emotions anymore. And I know Aquarius kind of have a reputation for that. The Strength card is actually about being okay with how you feel and not trying to change it. That's, you know, this is this lion taming the beast, taming this really strong and almost animalistic drive. It's very, in a very gentle way, in a very vulnerable way. I feel like that's something that's really going to be a theme for a lot of you in the beginning of June. And for some of you, that is going to come in the form of a Leo, or someone who's heavily placed in Leo or Libra helping you. But I actually feel like these are the energies you're embodying. And you're coming to a situation and you're bringing a lot of justice, you're bringing a lot of strength, and I feel like you're resolving something, perhaps something in the family. Or at least with people who feel like your family, who feel very close to you. They could be very close, or dear friends, or lovers, or people you work with even, but just returning the sense of family, bringing order to things. Let's see what the animals have to say about the beginning of June. Hummingbird. Again, you know, there is a lot of sweetness. There's a, you know, we have bee and now we have hummingbird. There's a lot of sweetness around you right now, and I think you're really able to nourish yourself with that. It's a matter of seeing it. I think some of you aren't seeing that right now, especially since we drew that Two of Swords. I'm thinking back to that card in the pre-energy, or at the bottom of the deck here, actually. You know, with this Two of Swords. It feels like some of you may not be fully seeing a situation. You may have your heart closed or guarded. And it's really important with Hummingbird that you sustain yourself. You try new things. You find out what it is that gives you life. I think of Hummingbird with its fast wings, its fast heart. It's very animated. It's almost like a fae type of energy. It's a very magical energy. Some of you, I feel like, are actually going to be I feel like some of you are actually going to be starting something new that gives you a lot of energy at the beginning of June. Interesting. Let's see. So towards the end of June, could also be going out even into July or beyond. This is just kind of the way things are progressing in this sort of situation. We do have the Knight of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords, and we have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. So I'm seeing kind of in the progression of your day-to-day or overall life, we had the Ten of Pentacles to Justice, and now the Knight of Pentacles. It does feel like whatever it is that you have built, you are maintaining, you are protecting. I feel like protector or guardian is a kind of a word to describe you in your life right now, or over your life for the month of June. I feel like some of you may even be working with an earth sign, so someone who has a strong placement in Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. But really, this feels like you're working on things very steadily. It seems like whatever it is that you're putting effort towards at the beginning of the month, you still are working on it at the end. You're being very, very diligent, very hardworking. This could be a relationship, especially with an earth sign or with a Libra. But I feel like overall, this is actually just you working very diligently, very hard, and it's very methodical. Things might actually be going a bit slower than you had hoped. There is kind of that sense. I am also feeling with that Neptune retrograde, there is this sense of time slowing down for a lot of people. It seems like 2019 has really just flown by. Honestly, I can't believe we're already doing the June readings. But I think you are kind of feeling the slowness, but it's not stopping you. You're still working and going forward at a good, steady pace. And sometimes that brings up a little anxiety, which is what I'm seeing with this Nine of Swords. This is kind of affecting you, this slowness, even though on this to everyone else you're coming across like this Knight of Pentacles, very hardworking, very dutiful, making sure that everyone is taken care of. It's actually bringing you a lot of anxiety. You're worrying a lot. You might even be up at night thinking about this sort of situation, or thinking about your relationship, or thinking about your family. There's some sort of situation that is really giving you a lot of tension mentally and emotionally. This is coming up in the emotional sector of this relationship. Some of you may have gotten, we started out with the Eight of Wands, we went to the Five of Wands in the reverse, and now there is this Nine of Swords again. Some of you may be getting some sort of message. You may be realizing something about someone or something you really, really care about that means a lot to you. And you are trying to work on things. You are trying to make things better. But you're not quite sure how to do that. And you're going to be struggling with that at the end of the month. But I feel like you are still keeping your balance despite whatever this is. Things are really looking good, Aquarius. I'm not sure why this Nine of Swords is coming up for you. Because honestly, it seems like to everyone else too, you have the Ten of Pentacles, Justice, the Knight of Pentacles. Things are going really well. Things are going in your favor. And it still seems like there's something you're just worried about or thinking a lot about. I do have this Queen of Cups kind of coming into strength. And then we have this Page of Pentacles in the reverse. This is kind of also an interesting progression here. Something that felt very emotionally supportive and nurturing and really strong. I feel like there's something you're not getting. There's some sort of lesson that you need to learn. And it almost feels like that's going to be presenting itself in a relationship in kind of an uncomfortable way. There's some sort of offer for stability that you might be hoping, or some sort of collaboration. This could be business. It could also be a relationship. It could be a commitment of some kind. And I see that there is still this, I feel like you're still very pensive, which is kind of how this whole reading began. I feel like it went full circle. You're very pensive about something. You're still really thinking quite heavily. And again, this could be another earth sign, or an earth sign. This could be someone who has heavy placements with Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, but really, someone's not seeing something here. And it almost feels like you, but it could very well be the person you're dealing with. Let's see what the animals have to say. Interesting. So we have the Swan card here. And again, this kind of talks about going into this reflective sort of state. You had a very strong start to this month, and I think now you're kind of reflecting on things, which is what I was getting with this Page of Pentacles as well, kind of really looking at things. This pentacle kind of reminds me of a mirror in this card because it's very reflective. It's almost like you're trying to there's something you need to see. There's something that's being shown to you right now, especially in a close relationship. I feel like there's this mirroring that's going on, and whatever it is that is presenting as a struggle with someone else, it's actually a struggle in yourself. I could go deeper into that, but for a general reading, I'm not really sure what direction to take that. It almost seems like whatever this thing that is giving you a lot of anxiety, it's not in their court. It's actually, you have a lot more power in this situation. Whatever it is you want that other person to do, you can do for yourself. I do see that you are going to be taking some space. I think some of you might actually be having some sort of mystical or spiritual experiences by the end of the month, which is nice. You're seeing things clearly. With Neptune going retrograde, you're definitely seeing things quite clearly right now. Some of you may also be doing a lot of writing or poetry. The swan is kind of the companion to Saraswati, the Hindu goddess of language. And it kind of mentions her with this card. I feel like some of you are getting very much into an artistic space, and writing may actually be a really helpful way for you to dissipate this anxiety, this tension, and even in a creative way. But any sort of expression, any sort of written expression, is going to really help you understand something. Sometimes you need to actually see something in front of you before you really get it. Maybe that's the realization that you need to have. You actually need to write this out, and as you're writing something out, something is going to become very, very clear. And those are all the messages I'm getting for you right now, Aquarius. I do hope that this reading was helpful. Definitely make sure to hit like and subscribe. Comment down below and let me know what's going on. I think one of the most powerful things about these online tarot readings is that people are sharing their stories, sharing their comments, and it's showing other people that they're not alone, that we all really are going through these cycles, these rhythms together. So thank you for all of you who have been open and expressing yourself. And I do hope that you continue to do that. And if I don't hear from you in a personal reading or some other session of some kind, I will see you next time. Bye, Aquarius.